Meteorologist David Boyd here on a nice Wednesday morning out there. We had a fantastic Tuesday. Let's look ahead to Wednesday. Great weather stretch going right now.
More the same, just a little bit warmer this morning and a little bit warmer this afternoon. We're in the upper 40s, low 50s this time around in the Tri-Cities. We'll be dropping a few more degrees down to 46 now in Mountain City, 52 in Abingdon. A few spots a little bit warmer thanks to a mild breeze. We'll also see that warm breeze later on today. Just a few clouds overhead, mostly sunny skies today, up to 74 at noon and a high of 82 in the Tri-Cities, about 2 degrees warmer than yesterday. But we'll notice that breeze out of the west around 5, 10, 15 miles an hour this afternoon. That will increase the fire danger a little bit. But the good news is we're tracking some rain showers later in the forecast. Not great timing that it's going to be on the weekend, but it's not going to rain all weekend long. We'll look at the full forecast here in just a bit.
That is good. It's not a complete washout there. We have your election results this morning from yesterday's elections. Of course, we have several scrolling at the bottom of the screen, even more listed online, but highlighting some here on the air this morning and beginning in Washington County, Tennessee, with one of the most contested primaries, the Republican nominee for mayor after current Mayor Dan Eldridge decided not to seek re-election. This was a fierce battle. Joe Grandy winning this, 37% of the vote. Mark Ferguson second in that race, followed by Johnson City Mayor David Temita, who finished third. Grandy moves on to face independent candidate James Reeves in the August general election. And staying in Tennessee, we heard from let's head to western counties right now. In Greene County, voting Republican mayoral candidate right now, unofficial winner this morning would be Kevin Morrison with a support of 2,467 voters. He will move on to face Democratic candidate David Folks in the August 2nd race. Now, this comes after current Mayor David Crum deciding not to seek re-election in that county. That was a big field of candidates there seeking the county mayor's race in Greene County. Hawkins County, Melville Bailey also not running to run that county again. The winner in that, the Republican ticket, Jim Lee, getting more than 38% of the vote last night. Kelly Markham coming in second, followed by Charlie Freeman and Mark Linkus third and fourth. There's a Democratic challenger on that, and 4 independents also on the ballot coming in August as well to be the Hawkins County mayor. In Carter County, Mayor Leon Humphrey facing 3 challengers in his primary, and the incumbent lost with only 31% of the vote. The new Carter County mayor will be Rusty Barnett, picking up 38% of the vote last night. No challengers from the Democratic side or independents, so Barnett will cruise through the general election in August to become your next Carter County mayor. Let's go to sheriff races now in Northeast Tennessee. On the Republican ticket in Unicoi County, incumbent Mike Hensley facing 2 challengers, winning with almost 2,000 votes in his favor. Jimmy Irwin second in the race, followed by Robert McCurry on third. No challengers, so Hensley will move on for another term as the sheriff of Unicoi County. In Carter County, 2 people on the ballot there with the Republican side. Current Sheriff Dexter Lunsford winning that, 56% of the vote over his former employee, Rocky Croy, longtime employee of the Sheriff's Department, garnered 44% of the vote. No Democratic candidate there, no incumbent, so Dexter Lunsford returning for another 4 years as the Carter County Sheriff. In Greene County, the sheriff's race, Republican primary, Wesley Holt, the winner there with nearly 3,000 votes. Paul Kilday second in that race. Now Holt moves on to face the incumbent, Democratic Sheriff Pat Hankins. That comes up in August as well. Sullivan County Sheriff Wayne Anderson winning another Republican primary with 68% of the vote. Anderson will face off against independent Jeffrey Cassidy in the August race. Now, should Sheriff Anderson win that August general election, he would be the longest serving sheriff in Sullivan County since 1780 if he wins in August. Let's go to Southwest Virginia now, and we'll start there with some 3 city council seats in Bristol, Virginia. Incumbent Bill Hartley receiving more than 1,000 votes to return to the council, along with Kevin Wingard back on for another full term. Neil Osborne is a newcomer to city council. We caught up with him last night and also with Bill Hartley for reaction to their wins.
Your second time winning, how does this one compare to the first one?
Well, it's very reassuring to win again. I think it shows confidence that people have in what I've done, what we've been able to do the last 4 years, and trying to move the city forward and solve some of our problems.
And what are some of the things you hope to accomplish here in your second term on?
Well, you know, in the coming years, we've got a lot of challenges to face. One of the things, you know, is to continue to look at our finances, but also to grow our economy, grow our tax base, bring some new businesses, some new industry here. That's something I hear from everybody, and it's a challenge, but it's something we have to do as a city to continue to move forward.
And lastly, solid voter turnout throughout the day in Bristol. Were you encouraged kind of by the number of people who showed up and voted?
Well, I think it was down a little bit from previous years, but, you know, I'd always like more people to come out and vote in local elections because these local elections really matter. It determines the fire, the police, the roads, the education, things that matter in people's everyday lives. So, you know, you always wish more people would come out and just vote. I don't really care who they vote for. I just wish they would participate more.
And we will hear from Neil Osborne coming up in our 5:30 half hour here this morning. Now staying in Virginia, closely watching a race for town council in Abingdon. 8 people vying for 3 seats there, with all precincts reporting 3 newcomers now headed to town council. Derek Webb, Donna Quedich, and Al Bradley, all the newcomers in that race. The political newcomers will hold the majority now on the town council there in Abingdon.
I want to see a unified Abingdon where we're all on the same page and working together to help one another to achieve what I feel like we are capable of achieving as a wonderful small town like we are.
Now I will work hard to earn the trust of those who supported others. I look forward to building on the work of those who served before me.
I hope we can come together and get to work and make the town a little better place to live.
Now, one race we haven't talked about up to this point is back over on the Tennessee side, and that is the Sullivan County Mayor's race. Incumbent Richard Venable unopposed in the Republican primary with no Democratic challenger on the ballot. Venable moves on to face independent candidate Gerald Sensabaugh Jr. in the general election. You may remember Sensabaugh recently fired from his coaching job at David Crockett High School after an investigation into activities and actions on and off the field there. Again, the general election in all of those that we've talked about moves on to August the 2nd. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. A reminder, we have more election results online, WCYB.com, and also several scrolling there for you at the bottom of the screen this morning. A sit-in continues at the U.S.-Mexico border this morning. Why migrants are fueled to stay. That's coming up. And another lawsuit for the Trump administration, this time from his own party. Find out why 7 states are suing. That's coming up in a moment. Right now, let's get over to David. 5:07 is the time. David, how's it looking for our Wednesday morning?
Not too bad at all. Temperatures are running about 10 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. 9 degrees warmer in Johnson City. Same story in Wise. Many spots are in the upper 40s to low 50s. Mainly clear skies. Tons of sunshine. And the forecast today, highs in the low 80s. Full forecast coming up.
Help News 5 get the facts right. If you see news happening, contact News 5 by phone or email.
It's 5:10 here this morning. Across the U.S. and really around the world, thousands of labor, union, and immigrant rights activists taking to the streets for May Day and the International Workers' Day, as it's also known. Marches planned across the country on May 1st. Organizers say some of this year's demonstration is taking aim at President Trump's controversial immigration policy, also including the travel ban, plans to end DACA, and a new ramped-up deportation and detention efforts by the Justice Department.
But I also want to show that DACA recipients make a difference and that they are working, they are contributing to this economy.
And this year's May Day comes as border officials in Los Angeles dealing with a large caravan of Central American migrants. A small group of asylum seekers have been allowed to begin presenting their case for safe refuge after that long and treacherous journey. Miguel Almaguera has more from hopeful families there at the border that are part of that caravan.
As news spreads across the caravan, reason to celebrate. 25 migrants from this group of 150 allowed to surrender to Border Patrol seeking asylum in the U.S. Wendy Garcia, with son Oscar fleeing corruption in El Salvador, says it gives us hope. We'll wait here as long as it takes. After a grueling month-long journey, many fear they'll be forced to return to the violence and persecution they fled. But surrendering at the border, they face another wall. Families can be separated, some detained, as the fight for asylum can take years.
It's incredibly challenging to prove your case for asylum, particularly if you are detained and you don't have access to police reports that you may have filed in your country.
Border Patrol agents arrested 11 who they say tried to enter the U.S. illegally. Justice Department officials suspect they were part of the so-called caravan.
Nobody on either the organizing team or the legal team of this caravan has ever encouraged anyone to cross illegally.
Just on the other side of the border, volunteer Blair Overstreet is opening her home in San Diego.
These are people who we need to welcome in as our neighbors.
Tonight, there are no guarantees. Arriving at the border doesn't mean safe passage. But for these families, there's nowhere else to turn.
The state of Texas and 6 other states now suing President Trump's administration for continuing the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, also known more commonly as DACA. The Attorney General of Texas announcing on Tuesday that Texas is leading the 7-state coalition in filing that lawsuit against the federal government. Ken Paxton had threatened to file the same lawsuit in 2017 if the Trump administration didn't end DACA. The lawsuit calls for the Obama-era program unconstitutional, saying the executive branch cannot create new immigration and citizenship laws.
The Constitution guarantees the American people the right to set their own immigration policies through their representatives in Congress. The federal executive branch lacks the power to unilaterally grant unlawfully present aliens lawful presence and work authorization.
DACA protects illegal immigrants who came to this country as children from deportation and allows them to work and live in the U.S. without being citizens. 5:13, David's in the Weather Center right now. And David, let's talk about out the Midwest. We had a break and basically no storms for several days, but that's beginning to change now.
Quite a bit. And we had about 20 reports of tornadoes yesterday, stretching from West Omaha down into far northwestern Oklahoma. And they finally saw their first tornado of the year, the latest first tornado on record in Oklahoma. Several, though, across Kansas and also into eastern Nebraska. That storm system is going to be moving east, slowly weakening, but giving us a good chance of rain on Saturday with highs only in the mid-70s. We'll look at the full forecast and the timing of the rain for this weekend after the break.
The Storm Track 5 weather team, alerting you to severe weather danger.
It was beautiful yesterday afternoon, lots of sunshine, the high 80 degrees, 8 degrees above average, but it was a cold start. We dropped down to 35 yesterday morning. That was just 3 degrees away from the record low set back in 1996. Not quite as cold this morning. We're going to continue to see a warming trend through tomorrow, but a bit breezy at times. And with the low humidity levels, the very warm temperatures during the daytime, there is an increased fire danger today, Thursday, and also into Friday, so we certainly do not recommend any outside burning over the next few days. But rain chances will slowly ramp up, though, Friday night and also into Saturday. More on that in just a moment. Outside now, 48, so not nearly as cold as yesterday morning. Mainly clear skies, the wind light to calm. And look at the highs today. Around 80 to 83 just about everywhere, upper 70s in the higher elevations. And then tonight, upper 40s to lower 50s. So the warming trend continues for the lows as well. High pressure along the east coast continues to block weather systems from moving into the Tri-Cities, but we're still tracking some rain showers locally heavy near and east of Kansas City. With this cold front that produced all those severe storms yesterday, another round of severe weather expected today, with the front hanging out right in here. 67 Minneapolis today, but near 90 in Dallas. And there is a moderate risk of severe storms at level 4 out of 5 near and to the north of Kansas City, and a larger enhanced risk going all the way back down into western Oklahoma. Several tornadoes expected later on today in that red zone, especially. Tomorrow, more severe storms near and north and east of Kansas City. Then the severe risk lessens on Friday. Isolated severe storms here in this yellow zone staying to the north of the Tri-Cities. Let's track it into the future. Notice how the storms fire up today and then push to the east and then slowly dissipate across the Ohio Valley. Another round going into Thursday. Then by Friday, this front gets a little bit closer, increasing clouds, and a few showers are possible, mainly to the north and west of the Tri-Cities late on Friday. The highs tomorrow, low to mid 80s. This looks to be the warmest day of the week. On Friday with more clouds, upper 70s to low 80s. And then behind the front Saturday, only in the 60s, southwest Virginia, 70 to 75 northeast Tennessee. So here's the future track showing a 30% chance of a couple of showers, isolated thunder showers late Friday, mainly near the Kentucky-Virginia line. Then the front moves in Saturday. That's the best chance of rain, especially during the afternoon and evening. Then it looks like the front will be moving out on Sunday. 30% chance of a shower too, but Sunday looks certainly looking better than Saturday for this weekend. Now today 82, ton of sunshine, breezy at times, and then lows tonight around 52 degrees, mainly clear. Your Storm Track 5 7-day forecast tomorrow 85 degrees, well above the average high of 73 and not too far away from the record high, which is 89 set back in 1942. Looking at Friday, 83 degrees and back in the 70s going into this weekend. The best chance of rain does come up on Saturday. A couple showers in spots on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday looks like we'll be in the middle 70s for highs, a few spotty showers. But notice those lows in the 50s, and the long range forecast also showing lows in the 50s going through May 10th. So we're not out of the woods yet. Can't say that we won't see any more frost, but chances look pretty low over the next 10 days.
And that May 10th date, that's the
right.
kind of last time. So
we'll see how it goes.
Maybe winter's finally leaving. You know, we had that long stretch of no storms in the Midwest that changed as we were talking about. Let's look at some video out of Kansas. This is a NBC station there in Kansas City, Missouri. You see that is a possible tornado touching down north of Salina there on Tuesday night. Also, nonstop lightning in that same area there. There's the incredible lightning video there. No word of any damage or injuries, but definitely some fast-moving and wild storms in that area. Take a look at some local sports when we get back here in just a moment. 5:20 as you get started here on your Wednesday. Thanks for giving us some time to start your day.
What a wild and entertaining hockey game last night between the Nashville Predators and the Winnipeg Jets. Game 3 of their Western Conference semifinal series, a whiteout in Winnipeg. Nashville came out on fire. Mike Fisher, Carey Underwood there with the goal. 1-0 Predators early as he gets the rebound. Then PK Subban on the power play makes it 2-0 Nashville. Winnipeg, their last home loss came on February 27th against the Predators. Austin Watson made it 3-0 Nashville after one, but in the second period, all Winnipeg. Now it's 3-3. Dustin Byfuglien makes it 4-3. Winnipeg scored 4 goals in the second period. Third period, Nashville on the power play. Philip Forsberg ties it up at 4. Back and forth we go. Now Winnipeg on the power play. 5 minutes left. Blake Wheeler, the rebound, beats Pekka Rinne. Nashville blows a 3-0 lead after the first period. Winnipeg storms back 7-4 the final. They now lead the best-of-7 series 2-1. Game 4 is Thursday night in Winnipeg. That's it for sports. Have a great Wednesday.
Well, some wait a lifetime for a moment just like the one we're about to show you. Watch as pure joy in a baseball game in Cleveland there. And the Indians hosting Texas Rangers, 5th inning. The Rangers send Show fouls off down the third baseline. There's the guy who caught the foul ball there. The celebration appears to be a father and son, maybe just a happy day for whoever they are. Wow. He was happy to catch a foul ball. Maybe work on his dance moves. Derby week is a little more than just a week of horses in Kentucky. Fans filling an arena there in Louisville to cheer on their favorite teams, mattress jockeys. More than 40 teams competing in the 29th annual Great Bed Races. Each team is made up of 4 co-workers, and the chariot is a bed with wheels that can race around a figure-8 track. Texas Roadhouse Restaurant ended up the winner this year's circle, the winner's circle there, the victory. The team gets $600 cash for a donation to a charity of their choice, and they have some nice hair there as well to go along with that. David, I think we need to find you a wig like that as well, and see what you'd like to do with that.
I didn't know they had that kind of race. Anyway, outside now, mainly clear skies. It's cool, but not as cold as yesterday morning. Upper 40s, low 50s as you step out the door. Near 80 this afternoon. We'll look down the road coming up.
For some riders, their worst nightmare coming true yesterday at Universal Studios in Japan. A roller coaster making an emergency stop. Riders were aboard the coaster, leaving more than 60 stuck upside down. Took workers at the park about 2 hours to rescue them from the ride. The Flying Dinosaur, as it's called. Japanese media reports say the stop was made after a safety device detached abnormally. The same ride got stuck carrying passengers as many as 3 times in 2016 to 2017, but it stopped itself there. So we're about 60 seconds away from a look at the forecast and another recap of your election results. We're back here on News 5 Today in just a moment. Stay with us.